All right, I'd like to welcome the new Penn Relays director, Steve Dolan, also the head coach, Coach Dolan. First of all, what does it mean to now take over such a prestigious event like the Penn Relays? And I know you've been at Penn now for like 8 or 9 years. What has been the kind of the process to go from being the head coach for the past decade to now taking over an even bigger role by running the Penn Relays?
Yeah. Well, first of all, thanks for having me, Gordon. It's really an honor to be here. And I certainly am very excited about the future and my opportunity to work with the Penn Relays. And I'm actually my 10th year as the director of track here at Penn. And one of the things that kind of drew me to Penn when I first came here was the history you related to. Franklin Field, home of the Penn Relays since 1895. And even the Penn Track and Field program, just the Olympians and the past history, it's really kind of a neat place to coach track and field. And, with on that platform, all of a sudden, as things have evolved, the opportunity to maybe play a role in the future of the Penn Relays and the future of track and field events at Penn was super attractive to me. And certainly a little humbled to follow Dave Johnson. He's just done an incredible job in his leadership of the Penn Relays. But hopefully I can play a positive role in the years to come.
So most people might not know this, but obviously the fact that a lot of times, a lot of local like college meets, the coach is always the meet director because it's not that big. But for something like Penn Relays, it required a full-time type position with a meet director with Dave Johnson for the past like 20 plus years. What have you learned as a head coach at Penn these past 10 years, seeing what it takes to put on an event like the Penn Relays?
Right. Well, I've certainly never hosted something of the magnitude of the Penn Relays, but as you alluded to it, I've been involved with meet administration my whole career. So I'm in my 30th year of college coaching. So here at Penn for 10, and I coached at Princeton and the College of New Jersey before that, but always involved with running meets and meet administration. And I always kind of enjoyed creating events and doing the best we could to host great competition. So I have some background in it, but this is definitely not a one-person show. So Dave was pretty amazing, but there'll be a group of us. There's a number of us that will be playing different roles in trying to host an event like the Penn Relays and any other events that we host at Penn. So I by no means feel responsible on my own to make this happen. It would be impossible. So it'll be a committee. It'll be a group of us that make it happen. But I'm excited, and I think Penn is a special place, and I think we have an opportunity here at Franklin Field in the city of Philadelphia to do something great for the community, the Philadelphia community, and the track and field community at large, just to build on this future for the Penn Relays. And truthfully, we have pretty lofty goals to host other things throughout the year. We want the Penn Relays to be the crown jewel of our year, but we also want to host more events and really let this place be special for track and field.
Why did you want to do this job? You seems to be pretty busy being the head coach of the program. What drew you to want to take on this more responsibility to add Penn Relays meet directing to your workload over the year?
Well, first of all, I'm really blessed with just a fantastic staff. So, Penn Track and Field, we run a combined program. We have about 55 to 60 men and 55 to 60 women in the program. We just have a great staff. So there's, 6 full-time coaches, full-time director of ops, and a number of volunteer coaches. And so Penn Track and Field itself is certainly a lot more people than me are making this happen. And the coaches are really fantastic in each of their roles. So I felt like, we're in a good spot. And I sort of love coaching. My favorite time of the day is definitely at practice, working with the athletes, helping them chase their dreams. So I certainly didn't want to give up my favorite part of the day and helping athletes chase the dreams. But I also felt like I had an opportunity maybe to do more here. Maybe, put my thought process out there and try to, create events and create Penn Relays at a high level is something I can do. And maybe my opportunity of having coached 30 years, and I sort of smile, but as you get older, you know more and more people. So my connections throughout high school and college, track and field, and maybe some of my connections at the agent and professional level are going to be valuable connections for us as we try to build on things here at Penn. So I'm hoping I can, be successful in both areas. But again, it's all about having great people. I'm not going to do either one very well if I try to do it by myself. I have a great team around me and to make this happen.
Now, obviously, you're starting the job on the ground running. We have a big challenge ahead of us. It's been 2 years since we had the normal Penn Relays. We had a little bit of a Penn Relays Invitational last summer, but the official Penn Relays are coming back in 2022. What are some of the challenges to kind of reboot the relays after a 2-year hiatus, get teams back on board to come out and kind of get back to normal the way it was in 2019 and in the past?
Yeah. Well, we're super excited to do it. And our facility staff has done a great job here with, this fall we've been hosting a fall collegiate events on campus, and those are going really well. And, but one of the challenges coming off of the COVID year, and it still exists, right? So to get our procedures in place to make it a safe and fun Penn Relays is obviously one of the first challenges. And we have a great team. The executive director of the Penn Relays, Scott Ward, really does a fantastic job. He oversees the event at large and all of our events, frankly, intercollegiately. So he's a key person to have us pull this off and come back in a big way. But honestly, my first 10 days on the job have been busy, but I've been doing what I call college outreach and just talking to friends in the industry and sort of saying, hey, we're planning to be back. Hope you're coming to the Penn Relays. And the response has really been pretty amazing. People want to be back. People want to do the Penn Relays and are very excited to do it. Truthfully, we probably have about 25 Power 5 schools, and we're coming back to the Penn Relays. We want to be a big part of this, not to mention all the other schools across all divisions and all conferences. So it's going to be a real big college program, and we're really going to highlight those great college athletes, which has always been a big part of the program. Also, some initial conversations with professional athletes and agents. People are excited. They want to run in Franklin Field and jump and throw and be in this atmosphere. So I think we're going to come back in a real big way in 2022, and should be super exciting for the fans and the crowd and everybody involved. So yeah, the first part has been exciting, and I think it's going to be an exciting comeback year.
What is like the challenge or the strategy or the pitch that a lot of times you have to deal with to try to draw in a good field? Obviously, Penn Relays has its history, 100-year history, but there are other relay carnivals that happen. Drake Relays, Texas Relays earlier in the year, Florida Relays does their thing. So a little bit of like, not competition, but there's only so many races that a team can enter in. So what's kind of the pitch to kind of get these schools to put Penn Relays as one of the marquee weekends on their, 2-month, 3-month long calendar?
Mm-hmm. Well, I think a couple of things. So first of all, it's called the Penn Relays Carnival, right? And I think the carnival part's noteworthy because it's really a celebration of the sport. You've got all different levels of athletes competing, and it really has that carnival atmosphere. And the athletes really enjoy that opportunity. And it's not very often you get to compete on Saturday or on other days in front of huge crowds, right? Responding in front of a huge crowd, and a crowd that knows track and field and gets excited about great competition. And, to be honest, there's really nothing like it in the United States with that kind of atmosphere and excitement and crowd. I think that's what brings people back. And as a fan, you want to be a part of it. You don't want to miss the chance to see it. And as an athlete, you want to be on that stage. And I've coached and been very fortunate and lucky over my years to coach a few people that have been able to win Penn Relays. And when I ask them now and they look back in their college track careers, they always say their most exciting moment, even if they were an NCAA All-American or a special athlete or done some things, was that win at Penn Relays. They did the victory lap. The crowd went crazy. Like, that is special. Stand on that stage and get the big wheel in Franklin Field to be a champion of America, a winner. I mean, that's special. So we've got something really special. We just have to do a great job in organizing it, right? It's a lot to organize in terms of getting people to have that great experience, but we've got something big here.
Now that you're taking over, obviously Dave Johnson's done a great job taking it for the past 20 plus years. Are there any new innovations or new ideas or new aspects that you want to bring to the Penn Relays, if not this year, but in the next few years, that you kind of have on the back of your mind? And if so, can you share any like brainstorming thoughts of new things you want to bring to the relays? Yeah.
Well, yeah, and I actually have counted on others again. So I've already started those conversations with college coaches and professional coaches and agents, and sort of picking their brain, like, what can we do better? What's the next evolution of the event? And there are some things that are coming up. Like, we definitely want to add some professional events, some individual professional events, be it in the track or things like that, and have some really exciting individual professional events. I think that'll be something new you're going to see at the Penn Relays this year. We definitely want to go back to our roots. So this started as a collegiate track and field meet. We want to make sure that we really highlight those college championship events, both individually and relays. So making sure they're at marquee times and really get key billing for the college events. So I think those individual professional events, really highlighting the colleges are two important things. But the one thing we definitely want to make that's always been a part of relays is it's very inclusive. We want to have youth, we want to have masters, we want to have professional, we want to have high school, and we want to have people from around the country and around the world. We want to have an international flair to it, and all are welcome. All are welcome. So we want to make sure we keep that inclusive feeling to the relays, and then continue to build on some of those great elite performances across all different levels.
I went to the Penn Relays in high school, ran there, high school and college, and a big, not one of the aspects that's really unique about Penn Relays is the Jamaican draw, and seeing like these Jamaican high school teams come in, the Calabars, the St. Yagos, and them kind of, sometimes they beat us, sometimes we beat them, but it's a great little rivalry between U.S. and Jamaica. Is the plan to still keep, the influx of Jamaican high school stars coming in? If I know COVID and regulations, all that stuff, but what's like the status of keeping it an international event?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, again, the whole world is welcome, and we have this great relationship with Jamaica. And absolutely, we welcome and are excited to have the Jamaican high schools back competing against the best here in the United States. And we also look forward to having the Olympic and professional level athletes from Jamaica compete on this stage. So every intention to continue to have that great relationship and have the Jamaican athletes back. And it's two things. First of all, a lot of people are physically traveling from Jamaica, but there's also so many Jamaicans that live in the United States, right? So we, you see the great crowd and excitement. They're very proud to cheer for, those athletes from their native country that, now a lot of those folks live in the United States. So it's an exciting part of the relays, and they're such a knowledgeable and enthusiastic and great track and field crowd. You've been here, and as a competitor, Gordon, like, it doesn't matter if it's the middle school race or the high school race or the pro race. If it's a good race, the crowd at large, and certainly the Jamaican crowd, they get behind it. They get excited, and we want to keep that tradition alive in Franklin Field.
I always love it when it's like heat number 112, and it's just a good kick at the finish, and everyone is watching and caring about it. They're not just waiting for the finals. So because I was in those heats, I was in those small heats.
Good competition is good competition. Our crowd appreciates it. It's exciting.
So one thing that, the track community always talks about is U.S. track and field, trying to make it more popular, right? We try to think about innovative ways to draw more eyes to our sport, doing different combinations, doing like a street meet or like putting people onto the track. And one thing that I always thought about is a lot of times all of our track meets are like in the same few cities. It's in Des Moines or Eugene, and that's basically about it for USA's. Has there ever been thought of Philadelphia, mainly University of Penn, getting involved with being a host for a future U.S. championships, or 10, 20 years down the road, hosting a world championships or something like that? Has there been thoughts of Franklin Field kind of bringing in not just a Penn Relays, but other big events?
Well, on that last statement, absolutely, we want to bring in other big events. So that's one of our visions. Again, like I said earlier, that Penn Relays is our marquee event, but we want to do programming throughout the year affiliated with Penn Relays and otherwise that really make Philadelphia a hub for track and field in our country and for the world. So we absolutely want to do it. Whether we do or don't host a USA Championships, I guess I'm not sure. There's a lot of things that happen in the bidding process and certain logistical things that have to fall into place for that to become a reality. But in terms of our ability to host an elite high school meet, a professional meet in the summertime, and other events, we absolutely have those aspirations and feel like we're a unique place in the sport with our stadium and the city and that type of thing. And those are very much some of our goals, Gordon. We're excited to do it.
Are there any challenges that you've discovered now that you've taken over a meet director role with something like the Penn Relays? What's like kind of like the unknown that most people don't think? I think a lot of people show up to a track meet and just figure out it's pretty simple. There's a timer, there's a track, there's a schedule. But like, what's kind of like intricate detail of like an unknown challenge that meet directors for massive meets like the Penn Relays Invitational have to deal with?
Well, the magic of the Penn Relays, Gordon, is there's literally hundreds, if not 1,000 volunteers that make this happen, right? And that's where I'm very fortunate because we've got Dave Johnson. Certainly, I talked to Dave last week, and he's going to be an important resource as we get this year's event going again. And then Gail Zachary, who's his longtime assistant, she continues to work with us in the Penn Relays, and they understand how all that works more than I do. I have a lot to learn in that area. But it's actually amazing when you look at the list of people that every year show up and say, I want to be a part of volunteering to make the Penn Relays happen. And it's amazing how it all comes together in all different areas, whether handing out awards, getting the relays on the track, the medical side of it. There's just a million people that make this whole thing happen. And they're the lifeblood of the relays. And, an advanced thank you to that group again, because we're back this year, but they love it. They come to Penn, and it's a special day for them too. And they know they're playing a big role in making this happen. So I don't know how it all works yet, but we're going to get it in line by the last week in April.
So you went to the Penn Relays as a competing coach when you were coaching at Princeton. You're competing there as the coach at Penn. Is there any specific memories that kind of show what Penn Relays is all about to you? Like, is there a moment that you've had as a coach, I'm not sure if you've been there as an athlete. Did you run there as an athlete as well?
No, I didn't compete as an athlete.
Okay.
I was as a coach.
Okay. Are there any like specific moments like, that is a Penn Relays moment that kind of encompasses, I'm not sure if that's the right word, I'm bad with words, kind of just that moment is what Penn Relays is all about?
Yeah, absolutely. So in my years, been here with 3 different schools, started my career at the College of New Jersey, great Division III program. We love competing at the Penn Relays, then opportunity at Princeton and now at Penn. And through the years, I've had individuals win their events. At the College of New Jersey, one of our ladies won the college jump. That was such an exciting thing for a small college athlete to beat a lot of Division I athletes and win the college high jump. And then had a few other individuals, both at Princeton and Penn, that won the individual event. So that was super exciting. But then there was something magical about relays, right? Those Championship of America relays. So I was very fortunate at Princeton. We won 3 of the Championship of America relays between the DMR and the 4x mile. And then at Penn, we've won a couple, which has been exciting. The guys won the 4x mile, the women won the DMR. So each of those moments equally exciting, right? On that big stage, chasing a dream as a team and winning those relays. But having said all that, the number one moment is actually as a parent, Gordon. I don't know if you know that, but my 2 boys had the opportunity. They ran for Hopewell Valley High School in New Jersey. And just a couple of years back, they actually won the high school boys distance medley and set the championship record. So the championship record is the Hopewell Valley boys DMR with a big comeback win at the end, and really exciting moment as a parent. So my son Sean was the anchor, and his brother Tim was the 800-meter leg. So seeing it through the eyes of a parent and them having come as kids and then having that moment in Franklin Field is certainly the highest, one of the most exciting moments I've ever been a part of. And it was a Penn Relays moment.
Well, how distracting was not? I'm not sure if it's distracting, but what's going through your head? You're there as a coach, but then you have your son, your 2 sons, kind of in a big moment. What was going on in your brain when you're probably sitting on the infield watching this race go down?
Well, I specifically went up in the stands to be near my wife to watch the relay as a parent. So I was up in the stands, kind of near the finish line, watching from up there. And our tradition is my wife videos it on her phone like she always does, no matter what meet we go to. And I cheer and do my best to be a dad. And it was super exciting. And truth be told, since I have access to the infield, I was to the infield fairly quickly once that race ended. But I sat in the stands and watched from the stands like everybody else's parents. It was pretty cool.
Well, Steve, I appreciate you taking the time to talk with us. Look forward to the Penn Relays being live on FloTrack, and not just this year, but many years in the future to see kind of grow back up after this 2-year hiatus. People needing some Penn Relays content, races in their lives, and we've been missing it for the past 2 years. So we're excited that it's back.